জানিনু এইবার আমারা পালন ভার এখন তোমার আমারা পালন ভার এখন তোমার বড় দুঃখ পাইয়াছি स्वतंत्र जीवाने बड़ो दुख पाइयाची स्वतंत्र जीव दुःख दूर गेलो पदवरने दुःख दूर गेलो जे पद लागिया रमा तपस्या करेला जे पद लागिया रमा तपस्या करेला जे पद पाइया शिवा शिवत्व लोभीला जे पद पाइया शिवा शिवत्व लोभीला जे पद लभिया ब्रह्मा कृतार्थ होइला जे पद लभिया ब्रह्मा जे पद नारद मुनि हृदय धरिला जे पद नारद मुनि हृदय धरिला शेष अभय पद शिरते धरिया शेष अभय पद शिरते धरिया परमानंद नाची पद गुण गाया परमानंद नाची पद गुण गाया संसार विपद होइते अवश्य उद्धार संसार विपद ते अवश्य उद्धार भक्ति विनोद पद करिबे तोमार भक्ति विनोद पद करिबे तोमार एखुन बुझिनु प्रभु तोमार चरण एखुन बुझिनु तोमार चरण अशोक भयामृत पूर्ण सर्वकान अशोक भयामृत हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे everybody Krishna Krishna Hare Hare louder Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Everybody, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Subhadra, Jaya Sudarshana, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Subhadra Mai, Jaya Sudarshana, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Dev, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Dev, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol, Haribol, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। One Mali Gundru. Acha, remove. Okay, it is okay. No, no, only that first sloka, Shravanam Kirtanam, so that we all can recite together. At Navida Bhakti shloka you can display. Sorry. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischena Navalakshana Kriyete Bhagavati Yadha Tanmanne Tamuttamam. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischena Navalakshana Kriyete Bhagavati Yadha Tanmanne Tamuttamam. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischena Navalakshana Kriyete Bhagavati Yadha Tanmanne Tamuttamam. Prabhuji. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsar Vishnu Bhaktischena Navalakshana Kriyate Bhagavati Yadha Tanmanne Tamuttamam. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischena Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagavati Yadha Tanmanne Tamut. Matajis. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu. Bhaktischena Navalakshana. Kriyate Bhagavati Yadha. Tanmanye Dhitamuttamam. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitina Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna. Since today's topic is Atma Nivedanam, I thought we should raise our hands 3 times. Okay, so I'm very, very happy to be here. Very grateful for getting this opportunity for my own purification. I seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas, from all seniors, equals, juniors, everybody, all Vaishnavas. I seek your blessings so that whatever I speak should be in line with the parampara. I should not subtract or add anything from my own faulty mind and intelligence. And I'm speaking for my own purification. So actually this topic which we have assembled to discuss today is a very lofty one. So we have been discussing in the series of Navvida Bhakti. So these shlokas by Prahlad Maharaj are the definition of pure devotional service in one sense. Not exactly definition, but yes, what does pure devotional service mean? So many times, when we come to ISKCON or when we read Srila Prabhupada books, this aspect of devotional service is hammered again and again. That what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to render devotional service to Krishna. Now one may wonder, what exactly do we mean by devotional service? And that is what is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON and the Srila Prabhupada's teachings, that he has not left anything abstract. Oh, surrender to Krishna. What does surrender mean? Nobody knows. Right? It's not like that. Prabhupada has written down what exactly surrender means. Oh, please render service to Krishna. What does it mean? Nobody knows. No, not like that. Prabhupada has made it so crystal clear. So many times we may see so many spiritual organizations, we may see so many movements. We respect everybody, we respect all, but we should always understand what we have got. This is called loyalty versus broad-mindedness. So we have to be broad-minded. We should never disrespect others. We should never think that, oh, no, I am a devotee, all others are non-devotees, I am great, they are all jokers or fools. No. We should be broad-minded. We should respect and appreciate everyone. At the same time, it does not mean that we should not take pride in what we have got. That is loyalty. So there is always a wonderful balance between loyalty and broad-mindedness. So we should understand our greatest fortune of coming in touch with Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. As we practice for more and more years, we realize more and more number of reasons why it is our greatest fortune. Like one reason we just now discussed, that how, like Prabhupada writes, I think in introduction or preface of Srimad Bhagavatam, that God is, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, God becomes a concrete principle in our life. Something like that Prabhupada writes in some introduction or somewhere, wherein God, which is like a concept for others, for us, God is not a concept. He is a person who is very much a part of our life. That is what has happened to us when we have tried to understand Prabhupada's teachings and when we have tried to follow Prabhupada's teachings. Similarly, the aspects of surrender, bhakti, devotional service, Prabhupada used to say devotion is the most misunderstood emotion in India. Right? People ask, "Arey, aapke andar bhakti hai, you have bhakti, why are you making such a show? Morning, such big loudspeaker, you are dancing, you are putting this tilak, why you are making a show of your bhakti?" People sometimes ask, and unless we are nicely trained in the philosophy, we may ourselves got bewildered. Baat to sahi bol raha hai. Then tomorrow we'll stop putting tilak. We'll start, we'll cover our head and we'll shy away. We are supposed to be lions. Who are we supposed to be? Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is a sampradaya of lions. Lions don't give birth to sheep. Lions don't. Lions. That's lion. So Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jeev Goswami, what kind of people are they? Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, you take our entire parampara. This parampara is a parampara of lions. And when will we be? Lion does not mean now you just, trample over everybody and defeat everybody. That's not what it, see, problem is we many times misunderstand things. So when we say we are lions or we are a parampara of lions and lions give birth to lions, it does not mean now we have to disrespect others or we have to show our power on others. What it means is we have to have self-confidence. We have to have true ego. True ego means Guru and Krishna is great. And we have to have great fortune. We have to be always conscious of the fact what we have got, even though we don't deserve it, even though we are unqualified, even though we are most insignificant, yet what we have got, then two things will happen. Not only we will get the power and the courage to practice Krishna consciousness boldly, not only we'll get the power to preach Krishna consciousness in the whole world, but we will also get power to be able to practice Krishna consciousness ourselves, that conviction. If I am not even convinced about what I have got, somehow I was studying in one college, somebody came, he was a fool, he had no other time, he had no time, he had no other thing to do. He somehow wanted to pass time. He got some of our students in a room and he gave some seminar. And same way, I also got fooled. And that's how I'm practicing. If that is my understanding of practicing Krishna consciousness, then what power will we have in practicing? So we have to time and again remind ourselves of our great fortune so that we take this jewel which we have got, very, very, we deal with it very preciously, like very carefully, we protect it, we nurture it when we appreciate. So similarly, here we see what amazing, before this, none of us knew that, oh, Shastras are so precise, things are so wonderfully mentioned. People talk about science and technology. I am in the core of science and technology in my material qualification. But that science and technology is nothing in front of the science and technology which is available in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. The more we understand science, the more we are able to, if we are genuinely understanding, the more we are able to appreciate the science which is mentioned here. Only it's like half knowledge, that's saying, there is a saying, right? I'm sure there will be a Kannada equivalent. In Hindi, it says, Adajal Gagari Chalkat Jai, something like that in Hindi. I'm sure there will be some equivalent in Kannada. That half knowledge is more dangerous than no knowledge. Right? Therefore, Lord Kelvin used to say, if you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. Lord Kelvin, all of us who have read physics or chemistry, such people were there in physics also, chemistry also, maths also, all subjects you will see these people will be there. They were such great scientists of the past. Newton, Einstein, Kelvin, these kind of people. What is Kelvin saying? If you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. That means our faith in Krishna is not just because, certainly we are getting Shabda Praman, but we should also apply our Anuman Praman and Pratyaksh Praman to reconfirm that faith. We should not reject Anuman Praman and Pratyaksh Praman, especially when that can reinforce our faith in Shabda Praman. We should be alert. We should be alert. So when I'm seeing the tree growing, when I'm seeing the body working so nicely, that is the Pratyaksh Praman and Anuman Praman which is reinforcing my faith in Shabda Praman. Right? So we should, it's so amazing that all our senses get awakened. Our intelligence, our mind gets awakened when we properly read and understand Prabhupada's teachings. So today we are discussing, so there are 9 limbs of Bhakti. The 9 modes, Navvida Bhakti. We say Bhaktish Chena Navalakshana. And Prahlad Maharaj is telling that one who is intelligent, one who is learned will be doing these 9 things. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevana. So today we are discussing Atma Nivedanam. And Atma Nivedanam is like a sum and substance. It's like the ultimate surrender. Atma Nivedanam is not just surrender. We are going to discuss that today. Atma Nivedanam is more than surrender. It's like complete, full self-surrender. We'll discuss that today. So let us begin from surrender and then we'll go to Atma Nivedanam because we'll be able to appreciate surrender more. As I said, actually, it's a very lofty topic and we'll try our best to, discuss however, the mercy allows and however our capacity is. So what is the essence of spiritual knowledge? Whatever Vedas, Puranas, Shastras, Upanishads, whatever is there, the essence of all spiritual knowledge is summarized in 3 things. Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. Right? That we all know. Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan and Prayojan Gyan. SAP. Very easy to remember. Anybody works in SAP Technologies here? SAP? SAP Technologies? Okay. Yeah, so SAP, SAP. We'll never forget. Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. That's the essence of spiritual knowledge. So what is Sambandha Gyan? Sambandha Gyan means, how much? Sambandha Gyan means, who am I? Who is Krishna? And what is the relationship between us? Abhideya Gyan means the process to revive the relationship, and Prayojan means the fruit, which is love of Krishna Prem, love of Krishna. So Sambandha Gyan teaches us that Ekala Ishwara Krishna Ara Sabha Bhratya. Jiver Sarup Hoye Krishnera Nityadas. We are constitutionally part and parcel of Krishna, and we are supposed to love and serve him. Right? So we understand that. And service means not what I want. Service means what the beloved wants. Right? Like once somebody was asking, what is the difference between like and love? Right? So one Maharaj answered that when you like a flower, you pluck it and smell it and things like that. But when you love a flower, you nourish it, you water it. Right? So that's the difference between like and love. Like may still we are the center, but when you love, then you are the other person is the center. So we understand that how we have to love and serve Krishna. So therefore, let thy will be done. We want to follow the instructions of Guru and Krishna, whatever will please them. So that is what is the perfection of life, and that is what is surrender. Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. One who is intelligent, after many, many lives, he will understand that, oh, I'm actually supposed to surrender to Krishna because he is all that is. He is the Samam Bonam, as Prabhupada writes, the absolute truth. Krishna is not just God. God is only one aspect of absolute truth. The generator, the observer, and the destroyer. Absolute truth means God also, living entities also, energies also. Prabhupada clarifies in the Bhagavatam 1.1.1, first canto, first chapter, first shloka. Prabhupada clarifies what exactly is absolute truth. And Krishna is not just God. Krishna is Parama Satya, absolute truth. So perfection of life is to surrender to that absolute truth. And therefore we see, and Lord encourages, because Lord knows this is best for all living entities. So therefore Lord is very prominently, that is the instruction in all the Shastras, the essence of all Shastras. So therefore we see in Pandharpur that Lord Vitthal is there. Lord Vitthal is standing like this. He is telling that, my dear devotees, if you surrender to me, this Bhavasagar, this ocean, which is so difficult to cross, if you surrender unto me, it will just become this much. And you can very easily walk over. Right? Similarly, Balaji, his mudra, the hand mudra of Balaji is like, to say he is avoiding fearlessness. Just surrender unto me. Do not worry. Ma Shuchaha. He's telling. So therefore, we understand very clearly that how surrender to Lord Krishna is the perfection of life. However, so I'll just like to tell how we'll structure this whole seminar for the next 50 minutes. So we'll discuss about surrender to begin with, and then we'll get into Atmanivedam to understand how Atmanivedam is the limit, the parakashta of surrender. But first we'll revise the concepts of surrender. So now we have understood that perfection of life is to surrender. But we are in a jail, right? The purpose of jail is to make people surrender to the government, right? But that does not happen easily. First of all, the person doesn't want to. Like none of us want to surrender to Krishna so easily. Also, the in charge of the jail. Who is the in charge of this jail? Durga, right? The superintendent. Durga, Maya Devi, will make sure that just by some under the cover things and here and there we don't get out of the jail. Our surrender will be thoroughly tested. Our sincerity will be tested. Correct? So therefore, Maya will make sure that we don't surrender. Not because Maya doesn't want us to surrender, but because Maya wants to make sure that anybody who doesn't want to surrender should not be able to get out of the jail. You should really mean it. You should really be serious about it. And therefore, to the materialists, Maya says, don't surrender. That's what Maya says to the materialists, those who have not yet come to Krishna consciousness. Those who have newly come to Krishna consciousness, what does Maya say? Yes, it's nice. These people are good. Philosophy is also nice. Right now, you can do everything else which you want. You surrender later. Yes, you surrender, but surrender later. That's what Maya tells to the newcomers. Those of us who are practicing Krishna consciousness in many, many years, what does Maya tell them? Yes, now you have surrendered. That is pride. So those who are practicing since quite some time, Maya attacks through egoism. And we may think, we may be under a mistake and under an illusion. I have surrendered. Past tense. Sharanagati is not a concept that, yes, 1st January 2000, I had surrendered to Krishna. It's a moment-to-moment process. And that's how Maya attacks to those who have been practicing since 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Right? Bharat Maharaj also Maya attacked. Because I have surrendered. I'm a devotee now. So I can be casual. No, if you are casual, we'll become casualty. Right? So therefore, those who are practicing for many years, Maya attacks them by making them think that, yes, I have surrendered. No, surrender is a moment-to-moment process. Gati. Gati means motion. Okay. So therefore, we see that how Bhagavad Gita, it's so interesting that for us, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita are the three most important, literatures: undergraduate, undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate, as Prabhupada used to call it, doctorate. So Bhagavad Gita, mein, Lord Krishna is talking about surrender. What is that? Sarva dharman parityaja, mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah. Krishna is telling that the purpose of life, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is to surrender. That's what Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. What is he telling in Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is giving examples of those people who have surrendered. So Bhagavad Gita is talking about please surrender. Bhagavatam is giving examples of those who have surrendered. And Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord himself is coming and telling how to surrender. Because even probably Bhagavatam is lofty for us. Kunti Maharani, Amrish Maharaj, just imagine what. We can't even fathom that amount of surrender. We are going to discuss that Atmanivedanam. So just like Prabhupada says, just like a teacher comes and holds your hands and make you write ABCD. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. He is standing with raised hands. Sometimes, I wonder that, of course, there can be many reasons that we may feel shy in raising our hands. We may feel body pain in raising our hands. All that is fine. But we should try our best to raise our hands as much as possible when we come in front of the Lord and Prabhupada. As soon as sometimes what happens over a period of time, things start getting diluted. Over a period of time, things, what appeared to be abnormal earlier, the more you keep doing the abnormal thing, the more that abnormal thing will start appearing normal, right? This is what is culture. Culture is like blood. Culture is like blood. Blood is vital for our life. Do you agree or not? Blood is vital for our survival. But do people realize it on a day-to-day basis? When do we realize it? When you have a cut and the blood starts flowing out. Correct? When somebody, God forbid, when somebody meets an accident and the blood is flowing out, what is the first thing which is to be done? Blood has to be given to him. Correct? Because blood is so vital for life, but unfortunately, we do not realize it until there is a wound and the blood starts flowing out of the body. Similarly, culture is so vital for any society. What is this? Where are we? International Society for Krishna consciousness. Culture is so important, but then unless the culture starts getting diluted and polluted, we don't realize that, oh, what has happened. And by the time it's too late. Are you able to understand the analogy here? Right? Another example is given of a frog. Right? You keep a frog in water. I mean, take a frog. Put the frog in boiling water. Do you think frog will die? No. People have done this experiment. People do all kinds of experiments. So they took boiling water, they threw the frog inside it. Frog did not die because as soon as frog touched the boiling water, immediately understood something is wrong and he jumped out, saved his life. Part 2 of the experiment. Keep the frog in cold water. Nicely, frog is swimming. Nice, water world. Right? Now start heating the water gradually. Temperature is increasing. Water is becoming hotter. Frog is not realizing because delta change we don't realize. Are you getting it? Frog dies because he is not able to realize how when the water becomes beyond his capacity. How when the water becomes. It's a standard documented theory. What I'm trying to highlight is that in Krishna consciousness, attention to details is a symptom of love. How we offer obeisances, how we meet and greet devotees. In the interest of convenience, in the interest of so many things, we have a tendency to, or in the name of being practical, we have a tendency to dilute things. But that dilution is very dangerous for this movement in the long run. And for all of us also. So I was telling that how Gaur Nitai, so anytime we feel little inconvenient in raising hands or shy in raising hands, immediately we should look at Gaur Nitai, that here the Lord, Krishna and Balram, they are raising hands continuously 24/7 to teach us. And here we are thinking that no, I will not raise hand. What is this? Ever since this struck me, since then day, I have never stopped raising hands, in kirtans and things, because it's like, I just can't tolerate. Lord is raising his hands and he is not minding it, and to teach us he's raising and we are feeling either shy or inconvenient or whatever in raising hands. Right? Anyway, so I was talking about how Chaitanya Charitamrita, is about Lord himself coming and teaching us how to surrender. So, and this precisely, surrender is that which makes a demon different from a devotee. Otherwise, demon also has culture. Ravan was a Pandit. Demon has knowledge. Demon has culture. In fact, Hiranyakashipu, we all know how he was taking the discover yourself session for his family members. You are soul, you are not the body, and everything he was telling. That means they know philosophy also. They have culture also. They also have elder brother. You see, Kumkand. What a culture of elder brother and younger brother. Did he not have Bhatra Prem, Kumkand and Ravan? Brother. So these things they also have. But what is it that makes a demon different from a devotee? The aspect of surrender to Krishna. It's not the knowledge. It's not the culture. It's not the learning, or it's not none of these. It's not cleanliness. None of these things are an indicator of a devotee. But it is only surrender which makes a devotee separate from a demon. Once, in early days, one disciple came to Prabhupada running. Prabhupada, do you know scientists are trying to make a two-headed dog? People are very fascinated with whatever science does. Once somebody gave a watch as a gift to Prabhupada, and that was a touch wala, In India now we are getting these things, but there, probably those days itself, many things were there. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, if camera and video recorders and those things were not there in America at that time, we would have not heard Prabhupada's Vani. We would not have seen Prabhupada's pictures. So all inventions also used in the service of Krishna because of the Western world. But anyway, coming here, somebody gifted this smartwatch to Prabhupada. Of course, Prabhupada respected, appreciated, whatever. But after that, Prabhupada said, what nonsense. Earlier, I used to see time just like that. Now I have to use two hands to see the time. Anyway, so these people get fascinated with a lot of science and technology, but pure devotees are able to see beyond the glamour. All that glitters is not gold. Hmm? Children get attracted by toys. Adults will not get attracted by toys. Similarly, pure devotees don't get attracted by those things, in which we take pleasure in sometimes. So came running to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, scientists, it seems they have discovered or they have invented or they have found a way to create a two-headed dog. Again, Prabhupada said, what nonsense. Ravan was a big dog with 10 heads. Still, he did not surrender. What is the purpose of head? What is the purpose of intelligence? Maunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Are with 10 heads, that big dog didn't surrender. What will this two-headed dog do? What nonsense, Prabhupada said. What kind of... Prabhupada is so Krishna conscious. So, and surrender, another important thing to understand about surrender is that it can mean different things for different people. Surrender for a grahastha does not mean he should... Anyway, things are becoming too much to handle. Huh? So, job also, spouse also, for a wife, husband, and for husband, wife, children also, the house also, something is leaking here, something is happening here, Monday to Friday squeezed, Saturday, Sunday also squeezed, then chanting also, then service also, preaching also, anyway, it's out of control. So surrender means what? Leave everything, go to forest. Is that what surrender means for Grahastha? No. Surrender means different things for different people. For Draupadi, surrender meant raising hands and crying out to Krishna. But for Arjun, surrender meant lifting the Gandiv. That is what surrender meant for him. So how surrender can mean different things for different people, which we understand only from Guru Sadhu Shastra. So different people surrender due to different things. Now we are trying to get into the motivation behind surrender so that we set the context for Atma Nivedana. Different people surrender due to different reasons. So imagine there is a criminal. A criminal is there. He has done some big ghotala, something, or some crime he has done. And now police is chasing him. Ambulance ho gaya. Whatever is police ka siren, So police is chasing the criminal. Criminal is running. And somehow police was intelligent to take the criminal to some kind of a dead end kind of a place. Some cliff, some hill pe le gaya, Nandi hill ke upar mein jakar, now that side nothing is there. Right? Let's say the police has chased criminal all the way till there. Right? Now what will the criminal do? I mean, he don't want to die by jumping that side. Now at that point in time, he will raise his hands. Surrender. This is one kind of surrender. Means you have no other option. You have been made thoroughly helpless. And now you are saying, okay, I surrender. That's not the surrender. That is called a reactive surrender. Reactive surrender means now you are gone. You are finished. You have no other choice. That's what happens. If we don't raise hands proactively in front of the Lord, we'll be made to raise hands like this reactively. If we don't fall flat in front of the Lord on our stomach, death will come and we'll be made to fall flat on our back. So better we proactively do whatever we are supposed to do. Flat we have to lie one day or the other. Now it's our choice whether we lie flat on our stomach and do Dandavat Pranam or we lie flat on our back. What happened? So before realizing, and it's too late. So that is reactive surrender. We don't want to. Human life means training and changing the free will. Okay, so let's come to proactive surrender. That yes, out of my free will, I want to surrender. Now there also different people surrender for different reasons. Some people surrender out of fear. If I don't surrender, something wrong will happen. Because I know Maya is so difficult to encounter, to overcome, and therefore I have to surrender. I am distressed. Arto or Tarti, Lord says, right? So I am distressed, and to become free from my miseries, because Lord is known as Prapannarti Haram Harim. Lord is called Prapannarti Haram Harim. Prapanna means shelter, one who goes into shelter. Arti, one who is distressed. Arto, Arti, one who is distressed. Haram Harim. Hari is one who takes away the distress of one who takes shelter. That is Hari. Takes away the distress. And we know that Maya Das, Sada Udas, Krishna Das, Bindas. So because of these reasons, because I want to be happy, because of these reasons, one may surrender. It's like a scorching heat. Imagine you are in Abu Dhabi or some desert, and it's like 45 degrees centigrade temperature. And it's fasting day also. And you have not drank water since 2-3 days, and there is no water also nearby. Your bottle is empty, everything empty. It's tremendous heat. Upar also, niche also, everywhere. Now you get one tree, one big banyan tree with a shade. Now when you enter that tree, how will you feel? Immediately you will feel like AC. Correct? So similarly, when a distressed, conditioned soul who is suffering in the scorching heat, Sansara Davanala leader, when he takes shelter of Krishna, he feels relief, like coming into the AC room in a hot day. Right? But then, those who do this only for this, after the heat is over, after the weather is cool, you come out and start doing your business. Right? That's not what surrender or taking shelter really means. Right? It means that, yeah, that can be a trigger. That could be an initial motivator. But for example, Gajendra, when Gajendra called out to the Lord, he called out of distress for sure. But he did not mean that, okay, come save me, then I go back to my business, you go back to your business. No, if you read Gajendra's prayers, then Lord will also, he would not have come. Gajendra, when he offered prayers, he said, my dear Lord, I am yours. Now do whatever you want to do with me. That is shelter. It does not mean temporarily solving the problem. And therefore, if the doctor can solve my problem, I go to doctor. If the policeman can solve my problem, I'll go to police. If Ganeshji or some demigod can solve my problem, I go to them. If this person can solve my problem, I'll go to him. That's not what is Krishna consciousness. So therefore, similarly, when we take medicines, okay, when we get sick, should we take medicines or not? But we are told we have to take shelter of Krishna. You are taking shelter of medicine now. You are not doing Ananya Bhakti. Ananya means no Anya, only me. See, there are so many misunderstandings. Once one devotee clarified to me so nicely. He said, we don't take shelter of medicines. We use medicines. We use medicines, but we take shelter of Krishna. Sometimes such words, when some seniors or some Prabhupada, whoever, when they clarify to us, things become so clear that, yeah, taking shelter is one thing and using something another thing. I can use a doctor, I can use police, I can use these people, but I take always shelter of Krishna. So out of fear, some people surrender. Bhakti Vinod Thakur tells this in Chaitanya Shikshamrita, by the way. These fear, desire, duty, love. These 4 things. So out of fear, people surrender. Some people surrender out of desire. Arey, mujhe ye chahiye, artharthi. Mujhe ye chahiye, I want this, I want that. Again, the problem there is what? After you get, that is all what you are bothered about. Now, if that thing you can get from somebody else, you are fine with that also. But that's not what taking shelter means. Now, initial, just like Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj took shelter of Krishna, but what was his initial motivation? He wanted a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather, right? But then, as soon as his motivations got purified, then that was not his interest. He wanted to just serve the Lord. Out of duty, I will give my breath to that person who has given me breath. Such a beautiful statement. Who is giving us our breath? Krishna. Nobody, no, neither our parents nor the doctors, we all know. Only Krishna is giving us our breath. Who should we use our breath for? Otherwise, we are Kritagna, who is the worst of mankind. Chalo, if not 24 hours breath, at least 4 hours breath, 3 hours breath, we should give it one day. That's also a good proposal, right? And in fact, that's actually a fact that we are dependent on Lord for everything. Let's take example of Samudra Manthan pastime. In Samudra Manthan Leela, what happened? The demigods were disturbed because demons had attacked them and they had no way out. So they approached the Lord because they can't help themselves. So they approached the Lord. So we'll try to see where all Lord helped. So first of all, they approached. Lord only suggested, do this project. Samudra Manthan Leela. Okay, now what? Okay, go to demons and shake hands. Okay, now what? How to churn the milk ocean now? What about a rod? Lord only told, go and get the Mandara mountain. They went, they tried their best, nothing happened. Then again, Lord, what to do? Lord came on Garuda, lifted the Mandara mountain, went it there. Now, as soon as you put it there, it's falling down. What to do? Lord only became Kurma Avatar. Okay, now from bottom stability came. What about top? Okay, what to do? Lord only became Ajita and hold this thing. Okay, what about rope? Lord only told, okay, get Vasuki. Right? And then, okay, now nectar came, now poison came, what to do? Okay, Lord only told, okay, inspired Lord Shiva. Oh, now Amrit came, what to do? Okay, Lord only became. So you see how from the beginning to end of the project, Adi ante antau cha madhye cha, Hari sarvatra giyate. From the beginning to the end of the project, at every step, demigods are helplessly dependent on the Lord, what to speak of us. If I get a nature's call right now, I'll have to say, Hare Krishna, I'll go. We are talking about demigods here, who are actually controlling these things. They are the controllers of these things. They have to go to Lord for every small thing. What to speak of us? Right? So that's anyway a fact. So some people, they take shelter because, yeah, he has given me breath, so I will give my breath to him. That's also wonderful. But then, that's also not the highest platform of taking shelter of the Lord or surrendering to the Lord. And that's where Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the highest is love. And that is selfless. That is ahaituki apratihata. Just like Vrajavasis. In fact, that is not only not expecting anything for myself, that is also at the cost of something negative happening to me. Like Vrajavasis. Are sab kuch, everything was fine before Krishna came. Huh? It was a wonderful, Vedic village and everything was there. After Krishna came, every day was a big tabahi, disturbance. They were nicely doing Indra Puja. And Krishna says, "Nahi, ye sab band kariye aap, let's do Govardhan Puja." One small boy and full Vrindavan village is there. And what are they doing? They're following this boy. Why? They are knowing that Indra will now have, not leave us. In spite of knowing that they are inviting trouble, they wanted to please Krishna. That is how much they value their relationship with Krishna. Very important point. Brajvasis value their relationship with Krishna more than what happens to them in their life. Krishna should be happy. That is surrender. That is Atma Nivedanam. Whether I am happy or not, whether I am getting some good thing from Krishna or bad thing from Krishna, that's all secondary. But Krishna should be happy. Krishna ne bola na, like we know that pastime, right? When somebody wanted to know who is the best devotee, the greatest of all devotees. So Krishna said, do one thing, go to all people and say that I'm having headache. And only the dust of the feet of a devotee, if I rub it on my head, I'll be free of headache. So I think this Gop Kumar, I don't know whose story is this, but he went to Shivji, he went to Narad Muni, he went to Brahma, and they said, are you mad? If we give our dust of lotus feet and, if our feet and Krishna puts on his head, is unimaginable. How can my dust of my feet touch Krishna's head? Sorry, this is unimaginable. Aise karte karte, they went to gopis. Gopis took out polythene bags. They said, hey, don't waste time. Yeah, take how much you want. Tell me how much dust of our feet you want. Put it on Krishna's head. Even if Krishna gets relieved for a microsecond of his headache, and for that, if we have to go to hell for millions of lifetimes, we are fine with that. That is the topmost love. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu Vargenava Kalpita. They are the topmost category of worshippers. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, what is that? How does it begin? Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas Tadadham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenava Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatradharana Paraha. 5 things Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas. Who is the topmost supremely worshipable object? Krishna. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas. Nanda Baba ka beta. Tadadham Vrindavanam. Who is the supreme abode? Vrindavan. Ramya Kajidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenava Kalpita. Who are the supreme most worshippers? The Vrajavadhus, the gopis of Vrindavan. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam. What is the supreme Pramana? Srimad Bhagavatam. Prema Pumartho Mahan. What is the supreme attainable goal? Krishna Prem. So supreme worship, supreme object of worship, supreme worshipper, supreme abode of worship, supreme scripture, and supreme goal is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching in this verse. Okay, so we come to Atma Nivedanam. And so we have anyway come to love, right? Which is where Atma Nivedanam begins. Krishnaya arpita dehasya nirmamasya ahankritehe manasastat swarupatvam smritam Atma Nivedanam. Hari Bhakti Kalpalatika defines Atma Nivedanam as Krishnaya arpita dehasya nirmamasya anankritehe manasastat swarupatvam smritam Atma Nivedanam. Krishnaya arpita dehasya. You have given your body to Krishna. But not only body. Because body may act for the pleasure of Krishna, but that may not be Bhakti. Example, anybody knows? Body is acting for pleasure of Krishna, but that may not be Bhakti. That may not be Atma Nivedanam. Putana. What did Putana go to Krishna for? To kill. That was in mind. But what was the body doing? Feeding baby Krishna. That's the best thing you can do to a child. You see? So body is acting for the pleasure of the Lord. But what is the mind doing? Mind is not thinking of pleasure of the Lord. Hiranyaksha, it is said in Bhagavatam that when Hiranyaksha was hitting his club to Varahadev, now see another interesting thing. When Hiranyaksha is hitting Varahadev with his club, Varahadev is feeling pleasure. You know why? Because Varahadev wanted to enjoy the fighting spirit. थोड़ा मतलब हो जाता है ना हाथ पे थोड़ा लगता है यार किसी के साथ दो हाथ करना है. Some we have to do some wrestling with somebody. Lord also feels like that. When Lord feels like fighting with somebody, who will he fight with? He sends some demons there. चलो तुम जाओ मैं आता हूँ. We'll fight. So when Hiranyaksha was hitting the Lord with his club, Varahadev was feeling happy. Hiranyaksha actually gave some pleasure to the Lord. But is that Atma-nivedanam? Is that bhakti? No, because in his mind, his intent was not to give pleasure to the Lord. Not like Bhishma Dev. Right? On the other hand, please note, contrast. Hiranyaksha spoke some bad words to Varahadev. That hurt the Lord. Right? Maro Lord ko koi problem nahi. He is the supremely powerful. He is a superman, supermost man. Right? What will any clubbing hitting? But words are more powerful than weapons, correct? Is it not true with relationships? Husband, have you ever spoken some words to wife and you thought, "Arey yaar, aisa nahi bolna chahiye tha." Wife, have you spoken something to husband when you thought, "Arey aisa nahi bolna"? Because words are like arrows. Once they are out, they are gone, right? And we are part and parcel of Krishna only. We have emotions because Krishna has emotions. Hiranyaksha's club is not hurting the Lord. It is only giving pleasure to the Lord. Because Lord wants thoda khujli ho raha tha. Thoda idhar marna. Sometimes you ask your child, I mean, not yours then, but Grastas children, sometimes you ask, thoda maro idhar, thoda khada ho jao. Like that it was, Hiranyaksha was doing. But Hiranyaksha spoke bad words. Varahadev became hurt. That is what bad words can do. To Lord and also to us. Relationships, people. Once Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj was telling, our philosophy is personalist. But many times we are most impersonal when dealing with others. Even though we speak of personalist philosophy. Anyway, so Hiranyaksha, he did something by his body which was pleasurable to the Lord, but that's not Atma-nivedanam because manasas tat-swarupatvam. Your inclination of mind is very important. What is mind thinking? So devotees who do Atma-nivedanam, which is what is our goal, to just give ourselves completely, we give, and Prabhupada writes in the purport of this verse, body, mind, and words. How many of you want a BMW? Okay. Probably in this assembly, nobody wants. So that BMW, now we can remember body, mind, and words. That's how three dandi sannyas, like that. So my daughter once, learned something from school and she came home and said, Bartan manjne wali. But anyway, so body may act for pleasure, but that's not enough. So Krishnaya arpita dehasya nirmamasya anahankritehe. Nirmamasya matlab ki not expecting anything in return, not having any sense of proprietorship. And anahankrite. Anahankrite means not even having the attitude that I am serving the Lord. You know what I have done for the Lord? Are people give money, but I have given myself to the Lord. No, nir anahankrite. Those who are doing Atma-nivedanam, they don't think that I am doing so much for the Lord. Ab to Bhagwan ko, matlab, आना ही पड़ेगा, झुकना ही पड़ेगा मेरे प्रभु को. In our sampradaya, we don't have those kind of songs. Have you seen some kind of a difference? There are some songs. Maybe we respect them in good spirit. हमारे प्रभु आएंगे ही, हमको कृपा देंगे ही, आना ही पड़ेगा. That's not our mood of our sampradaya. The mood of our sampradaya is servant of the Lord. प्रभु अगर millions of lifetimes भी हमको कृपा ना दें, फिर भी मम जन्मनि जन्मनि ईश्वरे भवताद भक्ति रहे तुकी. That's the mood of our sampradaya. Therefore, what kind of bhajans we sing, what kind of songs we sing is all important to understand. Otherwise, we'll be nowhere. जिस संप्रदाय में है, उस संप्रदाय का काम करना पड़ेगा. Whatever we have not just come to some society or some temple. We have to understand the seriousness of the fact that we have got connected to Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. It's a very serious matter. Many times before initiation, the goal is to get initiated somehow or the other, yen kin prakarena. But we have to understand what it really means and what mood that sampradaya carries. What are we supposed to do? What are we not supposed to do? It's not that we are just following spirituality. Idhar bhi kar sakte the, idhar bhi kar. No. It's not like loyalty and broad-mindedness. So we understand what is the mood of our sampradaya. What are our acharyas thinking? What are they sanctioning? What are they not sanctioning? Like we don't climb on Govardhan Hill. Everybody else may. Right? It's not just I'm practicing spirituality somehow or the other. No. Getting initiated into a sampradaya is much more than you practicing your spirituality. Right? So these things are so important to understand. And then we see how, in the same spirit of nirmamasya anhankrite, we see this, Bhakti Vinod Thakur saying, Manasa deho geho jo kichu mor, arpitu tua pade nand kishore. Maro bhi rakho bhi jo iksha tomar nitdas prati tua adhikar. So this is the final limit of ultimate surrender, and that is what is Atma Nivedanam. I have 20 minutes. We'll try to finish now some aspects of Atma Nivedanam. We will very quickly get into Atma Nivedanam. Prabhupada in this purport is giving an example of a faithful cow. Prabhupada is telling that a cow who is devoted to its master has no anxiety for own maintenance. She is just given herself to the master. That's it. अभी हम पालना है, आप हमको पालिए, आपको मारना है, आप हमको मारिए, whatever you want to do, you do. She has no anxiety for her own maintenance. Always devoted to the master, never acts independently, only for master's benefit. The bhajan which we began with today, in that bhajan, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, Ekho na bujinu prabhu tumhara charana, ashoka bhayamrita purna sarvakhana. Because of taking shelter of your lotus feet, I have become completely free of fear. Sakala chariya tuva charana kamale. I have left everything to come into your lotus feet. Pori achi ami natha tava pad tale. Now I am at your lotus feet. Tava pada padmanatha rokhi be amare aar rakha karta nahi above samsare. There is nobody else who is my protector. You are the only one. I am anath. You are my only nath. Ami tava nitya dasa janinu ei bar. Amara palana bhara ekhono tomar. No anxiety for own maintenance. Cared completely for by the master. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is telling, Amara palana bhar ekhona tomar. Now my maintenance is whose responsibility? Your responsibility. He is telling. And my favorite line in this song, Bado dukh paiya chi swatantra jivane dukh dur gelo padavarane. Bado dukh paiya chi swatantra jivane. As long as I was acting independently for my own self, I found only misery after misery. Dukkha dura gelo opadavarane. Ever since I have hooked my mind and I have given myself at your lotus feet, ever since I have given myself to you completely, all my dukh has gone away. Now, Atma Nivedanam includes that fear, desire, duty. Let's not think that, acha, to Gajendra surrendered, but he also surrendered out of fear only. We have already discussed. Therefore, in Krishna consciousness, we have to always understand that it includes and surpasses. Should we love our neighbors or not? Yes. But is that the goal of Krishna consciousness? No. But if somebody is Krishna conscious, will he love his neighbors or not? Yes. It includes and surpasses. Similarly, only out of fear we should not surrender to Krishna. True or false? True. But out of fear, can you surrender to Krishna or not? True. But it includes and surpasses. It doesn't stop there. It goes ahead. So things are very wonderfully reconciled. If we hear from Acharyas properly, we hear properly what is happening. So Prabhupada gives example of cow. Now 2-3 symptoms of devotees who are exhibiting Atma Nivedanam, like Bali Maharaj, like Kunti Maharani, like Ambarish Maharaj. These devotees who are exhibiting Atma Nivedanam, like Pandavas, what are some characteristics we'll very quickly see? Number 1, attachment to Lord at any cost. As we discussed, Maro bhi rakho bhi jo iksha tumhar. Right? Attachment to Lord at any cost. Maharaj Pratap Rudra, Chetan Chaitamrit. Maharaj Pratap Rudra was a king. Palaces, queens, property, gadi, bangla, bank balance, whatever anybody cries for, tries for and dies for, he had. Any condition living entity, whatever he is crying for, what is he crying for? House, roti, kapda, makan, bigger house, bigger roti, bigger kapda, bigger makan, more house, more roti, more kapda, makan, all that. So whatever anybody is crying for, trying for and dying for, but Maharaj Pratap Rudra had all of that. Yet he was willing to reject all of that if it comes in between him and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We all know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, hey, Vishayi hai, isko I will not give mercy. Right? He was just testing. Another aspect of Atma Nivedanam. It's not that, anything happens easily for anybody. These are special people. Everything in their life would have happened easily. Sometimes in a community of devotees, we see some devotees who are making more and more progress. We see some devotees getting more and more mercy of Guru Maharaj. And we think, very nice, he is doing. I mean, certainly we should not become envy for sure. But sometimes when we become happy also, you see what is our thought. Somehow in his life, see, he has earned a lot of money, paisa vaisa kama liya sab. Bacche bade ho gaye. Children are grown up now. Now he is able to nicely dedicate his life to Krishna. There is no tension. He is nicely able to practice. Aisa nahi hai. Whoever is practicing Krishna consciousness nicely, they have their own set of challenges, their own set of problems. In spite of that, they are doing whatever is to be done. That we have to understand. Otherwise, all of us think that my problem is special. In this material world, Krishna has already said that everybody has problems. In fact, you never know others have such big problems. In spite of that, they are surrendering to Krishna. They are keeping Krishna as a priority in their life. We should not underestimate what they are doing just because things may be happening in their life. Therefore, they are able to surrender. Surrender or not is not a matter of whether things are happening nicely in life or not. It is a matter of inner disposition. And then if Krishna wants, he will make things nice in your life, or he may not make things nice in your life if Krishna wants. So that's what Pratap Rudra, Maharaj Pratap Rudra is telling. If this is what is taking me away from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, get lost, forget all that. He says, Yadi se Mahaprabhu na paye kripa dhana, kiba rajya kiba deha saba akarana. He's saying, Yadi se Mahaprabhu na paye kripa dhana. If I don't get the kripa dhana of Mahaprabhu, kiba rajya kiba deha saba akarana. This rajya, deha, this body, this kingdom, all that is nonsense. What use? Useless it is. Eta suni sarvabhama hoile chintita. Rajara anurag dekhi hoile vismita. Sarvabhama Bhattacharya was there at that time. Eta suni sarvabhama hoile chintita. When Sarvabhama heard this, he became very tensed. Rajara anurag dekhi hoile vismita. He thought, so much attachment he has to the Lord. So much attachment he has. But he's saying, to hell with my body, to hell with my kingdom, if it is coming in the way of mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is one's characteristic of one who is showing Atma Nivedanam. He is attached to the Lord at any cost. So if somebody gives us a choice that you can become the king of the planet, but without Krishna consciousness, or you will get Krishna consciousness, but you'll become a beggar, what will we choose? Of course, theoretically also we know, practically also we know. That goes to show where we are, what we are, but at least we should aspire. It's not easy. I mean, theoretically we may say, no, I want to become the beggar. I am okay to become beggar, but Krishna consciousness is more important. Just like, those who have no money, they think that, what is the problem in giving donation? People should give, these rich people, they should give more donation. And once one gets money, and then he realizes that how 1 rupee also is so difficult to give. As long as you don't have something, just like somebody was telling me, I was discussing with some IAS officers some things for some of my projects. They were telling, when you are not the prime minister, then it is very easy to take out gun at everything. Are isko khatam kar denge, wo kar denge, ye rule change kar denge. But when you are at the chair of the prime minister, then you realize that you can't do so drastic things for anything. You can't take out. When you don't have the gun, then very banduk hota, maar deta sabko. If I had a gun, I would have killed him. But when you have the gun, then you think twice before doing something. Similarly, we are not the king, neither we are king of planet nor we are beggar. So it's easy for us to say. But if we really get into the shoes of the king of planet and we realize what is Atma Nivedanam. Second characteristic, as we discussed, it's not that a devotee who is doing Atma, see, this is not a chota mota thing which somebody who is pure devotee doing. Giving yourself is not a small thing. But is the devotee thinking, I have done such a big favor to the Lord? This is another thing for us to remember. Because we, first of all, we are not there. But we have so much anarthas that even if we try to get there by doing some sacrifices in our life, some compromise in our life, Piche said there will be one statement coming. See, I'm doing so much. Hanumanji is telling in 5th canto, 19th chapter, shloka 7. न जन्मनूनं महतो न सौभागं नवान्न बुद्धिर्न कृतिस्तोष हेतु तैर्यदृशतान् अपि नो वनाकोशस् चकार सख्ये बत लक्ष्मणाग्रजः. Hanumanji is telling to Supreme about Lord Ram. Hanumanji is telling that I have no buddhi, I have no opulence, I have no beauty, I have no knowledge, I have no culture, and yet Lord Ram is becoming friend of people like us. So that is how a pure devotee feels. He does not feel that I have given everything now. I have nothing else to give, yaar. Abhi kya do main? Sometimes in material life we say, na jaan de do kya? Ye log to jaan bhi de diya. They have given life also. Still, what are they feeling? I have not done enough. In fact, still he is, I'm in fact useless and still Lord is becoming my friend. That is his greatness. Why pure devotees are able to think like this? It's not theoretical. Because they know how great is Lord and how actually we are insignificant. Problem is we are so, Rasgulla, you have seen Gulab Jamun? Rasgulla? Completely dipped in sugar syrup. We are so dipped in false ego. We are so dipped in false ego that we are not able to appreciate this concept. That how a pure devotee is thinking he is insignificant because he is seeing. जब राम विमुख हुआ राम सम्मुख तो अहम ब्रह्मास्मि के पंख जले. Because we have not seen the Lord, because we have not perceived the Lord yet. Therefore, to the extent we have not perceived the Lord, to that extent we think we are great. And all of us. But pure devotees, they are actually perceiving the Lord day in and day out. And therefore, they have no doubt about these things. It's not a quote for them. It's not a theoretical statement from them. They see it's a fact. No matter what I can do, I'm insignificant. I'm like a small dust, smallest of the small dust particle at the lotus feet of the Lord. And intellectually, we can understand that, yes, I mean, that person who is making the entire creation work, that person who is making each one of us breathe right now, that person who is feeding all living entities all around, that person who is also discharging all laws and everything which is happening, certainly that person has to be like completely beyond imagination, right? So it's no wonder that such devotees. Therefore, we should always be, like I said, right? One who is in half knowledge, he only thinks that, like that. Similarly, to the extent we are not devotees, to that extent we think we are great. Otherwise, it's very, very simple and easy to understand, provided we remind ourselves again and again. Because this world is made in such a way to make us feel that we are king. And that is the motto also, Karlo Duniya Mutti Mein. When a small child takes birth, just before that in the womb, he was praying, Arey, sorry, mistake happened one more time. Please give me one more chance. Sorry, I did not remember you at the time of death. I have to again, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jatre Shayanam, Ya Sansare, Bahu Dushtare, Kripya Pari Pahe Murare. He is again praying, sorry, this time I'll not make a mistake. I'll remember you, Pakka. Please take me out from this hellish situation in the womb. Bhagavatam describes what hellish situation. What happens as soon as he comes out? One uncle from America comes. Some nice electronic gadget. One another person comes with a silver spoon, making some honey or kheer he is giving. And everybody saying, this person feels, I'm the king. Nice, I'm the king. He comes like this. Karlo Duniya Mutti Mein. Again going, he goes like that. Again, we come like this, go like this. Come like, how many times will we do this? So those of us who are in Brahmachari ashram, through your ashram, please realize this. Those of us who are in Grahastha ashram, through your ashram, realize this. That how many times will you keep doing like this? Coming like this, going like this, coming like this, going like this. Prabhupada said, so many lives we have given to our mind and senses. Let us just give this one life to Krishna and see what happens. Yaar, ek baar to try to kar sakte na. Okay, even if we are getting cheated, what is the problem? Anyway, we were cheating ourselves all these lives. Is baar let Prabhupada cheat us. Let's see what happens. Good proposal or not? It sounds logical. Anyway, so many lives we have cheated ourselves. Kuch milna to le de ke kuch nahi. This time they are all cheating us. They are all fools. Let us try what happens. Let's see. Right? These concepts are brilliant actually. Makes us understand that why will I not be practicing with all sincerity and commitment. Third or fourth characteristic. I will not leave you, my Lord, even if you don't reciprocate or even if you throw me. Lord never throws. That's a different matter. But look at the mood of somebody who is doing Atma Nivedanam. Just like sometimes when you are walking in Govardhan Parikrama, something may stick in your leg, in your feet, and you may try to scrape it away, through some stone or something. It may not go. So Atma Nivedanam, those devotees who do, they stick to the lotus feet of Lord such that, that even if Lord wants to throw them away, they will not go. Pakda rahega. Lord will trample, pakda rahega wo, Fevicol ka jod hai, like that. As lisya padartam pinastumam. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling in Shishashtakam, I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-heartedly by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord unconditionally. So Lord may sometimes give, Lord may sometimes take. We know mercy and special mercy, right? Lord says, if I am merciful to somebody, I will give whatever he wants. But if I am especially merciful to somebody, I'll take away everything. Once there was person smoking cigarette. Prabhupada is telling her, "Kya cigarette pito? Chodo, leave this cigarette and all." Prabhupada is telling him. This person says, "Swami ji, jab Bhagwan ka kripa hoga to chhod dunga. When Lord will be merciful, I will leave cigarette." Prabhupada said, "You really want special mercy of the Lord? If Lord will be merciful, you will become like me." He said, "No, I'll leave now only." So, Lord, on one hand, the mood of this devotee is what? That no matter what Lord does, I will not leave the Lord. And Lord also, he first tests. Not that those who have surrendered, Lord says, surrender hi hai, kya karne ka? Recommendation pe ho gaya. No recommendation. Everybody is thoroughly tested. You see how Bali Maharaj is tested. 10 minutes back, he has rejected his guru. Because Guru was telling, hey, Vamandev has come, and Shukracharya understood his Vishnu only has come to cheat. So Shukracharya is telling, Shukracharya ko apna roti ka kapda makan ka chinta hai. Shukracharya is thinking, if everything of Bali goes away, what will I do? I'll come on road. He's more worried about himself, Shukracharya. So Shukracharya is telling, hey, this is Vishnu. He'll take everything from you. Be careful, don't give. And we know what Bali Maharaj did. He said, if he is Vishnu, anyway, we are supposed to give everything to him. So no problem. So people describe that how Bhakti is like a telescope. Bhakti, through the telescope of Bhakti, you are able to see Bhagavan. And the lenses which are there are the gurus. If the lens is not clear, if the lens is not transparent, will you be able to see Bhagavan properly? So Shukracharya was like, he was not guru, he was kangaroo. So he was telling wrong things. So Bali Maharaj rejected him. Now imagine, so much risk he did. Yet what is Lord doing? After everything was taken away, Bali Maharaj was tied with ropes like a criminal and brought in front of Vamandev. Completely from, we have heard stories of rags to riches. Bali Maharaj's story is of riches. People like Sudama's story a lot. Because Sudama, mere Sudama ko dhan diya, humko bhi dhan denge, like that. Nobody talks about Bali Maharaj's story. Are dhan se usko road pe le aaya. Karodpati se roadpati bana diya. Bali Maharaj ko. These things don't, that's why Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. Very important to read these things. So Bali Maharaj is an example of riches to rags. And Bali Maharaj did this for whom? For Lord only. And thoroughly humiliated, insulted in front of his whole kingdom. He is being tied like a criminal. But Bali Maharaj is happy. That is Atma-nivedanam. My dear Lord, if you want to make me king, Hari bol. My dear Lord, if you want to make me beggar, Hari bol. That is Atma-nivedanam. Very, very high platform. Maro bhi rakho jo iksha tumhar. And these devotees, they don't think that, are yaar, unnecessarily I surrender to this person. I should have surrendered to somebody else. It's my mistake that I surrendered to him. Not like that. And now, why they are so much attached to the Lord? We'll end with this now. I don't know in 2 minutes or not. 10 minutes? Please. Oh, this certificate is special. Okay, so then I'll just skip through it. I'll just tell the topic. Why they are so attached to the Lord? Because they know the nature of the Lord. The nature of the Lord inspires Atma-nivedanam. Lord is so great and he is so sweet. Some points in that we'll not discuss details, but just some points. That even when there is no Atma-nivedanam, even somebody who by mistake performs devotional service, Lord becomes sold out to them. What to speak of one who is doing Atma-nivedanam? So if somebody has such a nature, would you not like to do Atma-nivedanam to such a person? So nature of the Lord inspires Atma-nivedanam. First point. Second point, Krishna is the best person to take shelter of. Nobody else. And there are some nice characteristics about it. We'll discuss sometime. Third characteristic, Krishna is an amazing master. He is such a master that he will make his servant his master. He is such a boss that he will test you first and he will make you his boss. He is such a master that he will share his home with you. No other master will share his home with you. He tests your surrender and then surrenders. Amazing. Such a master. Right? So this inspires Atma-nivedanam in devotees. Like Bali Maharaj, we know how Lord became his doorkeeper. Somebody said, you are what you eat. We know this, you are what you eat. What does Krishna eat? Favorite food? of Krishna? Butter. So Krishna, you are what you eat. So Krishna's heart is like in the fire of devotion, it melts. It melts. And Krishna gives himself completely. And in the same context of Pratap Rudra, Sarvabhauma Hoele Chintita, next verse. Bhattacharya kahe devana kara vishada, tomare prabhur avashya hoibe prasada, tenha premadhina, tomara prema gadha tara, avashya karibe nikripa tomara upar. Bhattacharya is telling, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is telling, don't worry, Lord will have mercy on you. Why? Because he is premadhina. And your prema is gadha, very, very intense. So don't worry, he'll certainly do, bestow mercy on you. And to what extent Lord becomes sold out? Shesha Mahesha Ganesha Dinesha Suresa Hu Jahi Nirantar Gave Jahi Anadi Ananta Akhanda Acheda Abheda Suveda Batave Narad Se Shuka Vyasa Rate Pachi Hare Tau Puni Par Na Pave Tahe Ahir Ki Chohariya Chachiya Bar Chacha Pe Nacha Nacha. Ras Khan writes this. Ras Khan, a great Muslim devotee. He says Shesha Mahesh, Ganesh, Dinesh, Suresh. Jahi Nirantar Gave. Sheshnag, Mahesh means Shivji, Ganesh, Dinesh means sun, Suresh, Indra. Jahi Nirantar Gave. That person whom these people are constantly chanting their glories about. Jahi Anadi, Ananta, Akhanda, Acheda, Abheda, Suveda Batave. That person who is Anadi, Akhanda, Acheda, Abheda, all that. Narad se Shuk Vyasa Rate. That person who from Narad Muni to Shukdev to Vyasdev, everybody is constantly chanting their glories and is still not able to understand. Pachi hare tau puni par na pave. That person, Tahe, Ahira ki Chohariya, those Vraj gopis, the gopis of Vrindavan, Chachiya bar chach pe naach nachave. And they are telling buttermilk chahiye, you want some chach? You want some buttermilk? Okay, naach ke dikha. Krishna is dancing. De the mere ko one katora buttermilk, he is becoming such a servant. Such is the sweet nature of the Lord. So nature of the Lord inspires Atma Nivedanam. And fourth, in the same, what nature inspires Atma Nivedanam? Lord never rejects anyone who takes his shelter. I'll just end by one last point here in this connection, that Lord never rejects anyone who takes his shelter. We know this. Lord Ram said, Sakrit eva parpanno yas tavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vratam mama. Lord Ram is saying, it's my vow. And please note, Krishna is not taking a vow. Krishna's vow we know, he can break. It's Lord Ram's vow. And Lord Ram's vow, prana jaye, par vachal na jaye. Lord Ram's vow. He says, anybody who takes my shelter, I will provide him abhayam sarvada. And I will always give him shelter. We all know that Lord Ram hid behind a tree to kill Vali. We all know that. Vali ko piche chup ke mara tha. Right? Acharyas give 15 reasons. Okay, sometimes, actually what happened once, Kush, once what happened, Lakshman's son, when Kush, Love and Kush, they got the horse of Lord Ram, remember? Right? And one by one, these people were coming. So first Lakshman's son came and he told Kush, do you know whose horse you have taken? Huh? This guy is, he's called Viryavan. The 16 qualities of Lord Ram in Valmiki Ramayana, first 4 verses. So Lakshman's son is telling, you know whose horse you have taken? He is Viryavan. Kush is telling, what Viryavan? 3 reasons Kush is telling. What Viryavan? Pehla Rakshas ko mara ladki thi wo. Tataka demon he killed, she was a female. Second, when he was killing Kharan Dushan, he had to come one step behind. What Viryavan? And third, he hid behind a tree and killed Vali. What Viryavan? Kush is telling about Lord Ram. So Acharyas give different reasons for that again. But hiding, can I just quickly tell these reasons? So Acharyas tell, that female demon, what to do? When one is a demon, female male ko you don't see. She was creating so much disturbance, so therefore she had to be killed. That does not put a black spot on Lord Ram's Viryavan. Then Khardushan, have you played cricket? Sometimes when there is a full length ball, you are supposed to go at the back foot and hit a 6. You have to hit a 6, you have to go to back foot. So Kharan Dushan had to be, hit 6 proper. So Lord Ram had to come on back foot and then hit him. That does not become a bad spot on his Viryavan. That is still Viryavan. He just came on back foot to it because they were so dirty and all. When they came so close, Lord Ram had to go a little behind to kill him. It's like going on back foot and hitting a 6er. But the third thing of hiding behind tree and killing, that is indeed a problem. And Acharyas can't tolerate any insult to the Lord. So they have given 15 reasons. बाकी का तो एक reason ठीक है, you are convinced. Here I'll, because you gave this, I'll give you 15 reasons why Lord gave. So one of the reasons is this. Lord has told that whoever comes and takes my shelter, I will give him shelter. Lord Ram was afraid that if I come in front, one of the 15 reasons, if I come in front and if he comes and takes my shelter, I will have to give shelter. But I don't want to give him shelter. Why I don't want to give him shelter? Because he did not give shelter to Sugriv. When Sugriv wanted shelter, he did not. So when we don't, so Lord gives shelter to those who give shelter to others. Lord did not want to give Vali shelter because Vali did not give Sugriv shelter, and he did the biggest crime of kidnapping Sugriv's wife. Lord did not want to tolerate that. And therefore, even though Lord has made this vow, Lord said, I don't want to give him shelter, but I've taken this vow. If I come in front, if he takes my shelter, I will be in Dhamsarkat, what to do? So better I'll be behind sail. This is one of the reasons Acharya has given. Anyway. And then, it goes to one level further, let more calamities come. And the last thing is about Atma Nivedanam. Spiritual message is always meant for action. Now we discussed we started from surrender, wherein there were some practical action points for us. But then in between, our aeroplane has gone too high in Atma Nivedanam. Very, very high topic, right? So let's come down on ground again and let's see what we are supposed to do. We know there are 6 aspects of surrender. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati iti vishvaso goputritve varnam tatha atmanikshepa karpanye shadvidha sharanagatihi. There are 6 aspects of sharanagati. Anukulyasya sankalpa means doing those things which are favorable for Krishna consciousness with full determination. Anukulyasya sankalpa. Pratikulasya varjanam. That means those things which are not good for my Krishna consciousness, with determination I will avoid them. Rakshishati iti vishvaso. Lord will protect me. He is the only one who will protect, and he will protect. Gopittatve varnam tatha. Having the disposition that Lord is my master. What Bhakti Vinod Thakur was singing. Atma nikshepa. Atma nivedanam. Giving ourselves completely. Karpanye. Always feeling meek and humble. Shadvidhi sharanagati. Now, in this first 2 are action, last 2 are disposition. Rakshishati iti vishvaso, gopitade varnam tatha, atmanikshep and karmanye. These 4 are what? Mental disposition. That is not in our hands as such. We cultivate it, we hear about it, we render service. By mercy, we get this disposition more and more. So, Atma Nivedanam and all that is a very, very high level of disposition. But the first 2 are action, which is in our hands. Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. So we have to, the practical aspect of Atma Nivedanam in our life, while we aspire for that highest platform, while we cultivate that the attitude of that highest platform in our day-to-day life, morning to evening, if we follow these 2 things, anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam, then we are doing the needful, we are doing our part. And the daily chanting of 16 rounds is an expression of our desire to surrender to Krishna. And it is a reinforcement of that desire. So it's both. Not only it is an expression of our surrender, our chanting of 16 rounds, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. This itself is surrender, but it is also a reinforcement of our desire to surrender, which we should do every day. We should always, every day, reinforce our desire to surrender, in addition to expressing surrender. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I would like any seniors to comment or correct anything, or if there are any questions, I don't know now.
If there is any one question, there are many hands up. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very, very nice class. Thank you very much. You are talking about reconciling, I don't remember the exact word, but we should keep on reconciling whatever message that we get on a regular basis. Can you speak a few words about how to do that so that we can practice?
I don't know about which portion of the class you are talking about, but I think I was talking about whatever we read or hear. Whatever are the favorable things for Krishna consciousness, unfavorable things for Krishna consciousness, do's and don'ts, whatever it may be, or attitude, in what spirit we should do service, whatever these things are there which are in Prabhupada's books. What I was telling was, and I was also talking about the culture, small, small things, big, big things. So what I was trying to say there was that we should not take anything for granted. And we should not underestimate the value of small, small things in Krishna consciousness. Because Prabhupada used to say Krishna consciousness is so simple that we may miss it. Right? So we should therefore, every time we are reading, hearing, every time we are attending a class, every time we are standing in front of the Lord, every time we are bowing down to Prabhupada, whatever we are doing, we should try to do with full absorption. And every time we are hearing the message, we should revise. It should reiterate some basic fundamentals of spiritual life. And the fact that we have to be humble, the fact that we are not supposed to be great, the fact that we are insignificant, the fact that we are supposed to serve Krishna, the fact that we have to act for pleasure of the Vaishnavas. There are some basic tenets of Krishna consciousness. What happens? Our life is very fast, right? In ISKCON also, because of so many projects, so many things, there may be so many services. Now, because of the heat of all of that, sometimes we may forget to pay attention to these things on the way. And by the time we realize, we may have come too far. We should not make that mistake, is what I'm saying. Otherwise, the substance will start getting diluted. So we have to go fast. We have to do many projects. We have to do everything. Yet we have to be always conscious of, wait a second, what am I trying to do? Have I come here to prove or have I come here to improve? Let's say there is a conflict between two devotees. Right? Beyond the point, we should think like that. Like whatever we read in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? That is to be applied when this situation happens to us. Then we have to remember those things. That is Shastra Chakshu. But when we are reading and speaking, but when we are going through those situations, we are not able to apply, that is the misfortune. Right? Because if we are being told to be humble, that is exactly for us to be humble in situations which demands humility. And there we are forgetting to apply that. So that's what I meant by reiterating to ourselves, because we don't want to cheat ourselves. See, if we don't do this, who are we cheating? We are not cheating Guru. We are not cheating Krishna. When a demon is attacking Krishna, who is in danger? When we are cheating Krishna, who is getting cheated? So I just don't know. How can we not do this? Yeah, we may forget. Therefore, we have to read here every day. Therefore, Prabhupada has made the morning program class every day. Forgetting is one thing. Condition soul keeps forgetting. Yeah, we may forget. Yaad karne ke baad bhi nahi kare, that is impossible. Because then we will be cheating ourselves. Bas ho gaya, class khatam, Krishna consciousness over. If one lives Krishna consciousness like this, in this life he'll go back home, back to Garden. Sincerity, seriousness, no ulterior motive. Fire of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. I think we should end because. Oh, one question from Zoo. Shloka number. That is 5:19:7. Canto 5, chapter 19, Shloka 7. Hanumanji is telling about his great fortune that in spite of all no qualifications, Lord Ram is befriending us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji was relishing the subject matter so much that he could not stop. So that way let us express our gratitude to Vyasacharya Prabhu for sharing such wonderful nectarine class while giving not only the theoretical aspect but also the practical application, how to apply it by accepting the favorable and rejecting the unfavorable. So let us proactively raise our hands and
Krishna, we'll end the session now with some technical problem. We'll end the session now. We'll resume from tomorrow.